It has been another long week without us. It's that time again for Bad Takeout.
Jesus.
What are you worried about?
You think we're that good, huh?
I think we're the best podcast that people will hear if they just listen.
If we were on the radio, we'd be in like the glove box. You know what that means? Like the old dial.
You think like AM radio?
We'd be so high. We'd be like 1900 AM.
That's how bad you think we'd be?
No, look, I enjoy doing this podcast with you, Jeremy. And I think our 7 or 8 listeners a week appreciate it.
We've gotten up to like the 40s.
We've gotten there. I wouldn't be here if I didn't think it was, worth doing.
If someone did their homework one fucking day and bothered to help us get this thing on iTunes, while I'm making money to get this thing on the air, I'm on the street day in, day out, Bad Takeout, making that money.
Hustling, yeah.
While I need you, the producer of the show, to produce getting us on iTunes.
Okay. That's my homework assignment for this week.
Assignment. Getting us on iTunes. Because if we're on iTunes, we get more listeners.
Okay, fair enough.
And we're not. People don't want to YouTube our shit or watch from the website. They need that shit on their iPods and their iPads and their minis.
It's an Apple world now.
It's an Apple world. You see, there's new stuff came out today.
I saw that. I saw.
They released a black cylinder Mac Pro. The new desktop is a giant black cylinder. No, different than you have the iMac. Different world.
Okay.
Different world. This is like a professional grade. This is like a $5,000 computer.
Oh, I don't need that.
It's like 12 something crazy. It's a big black cylinder.
Okay.
It's insane, apparently. Then they put out a new MacBook Air.
Like the thin laptop.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they introduced iOS 7, which will be coming out later. But it's like it's like the operating system that your phone runs on. Right now it's iOS 6.
I'm aware.
It's self-aware.
I always, whenever I say aware, I always try to sound like
T2?
Schwarzenegger. Of course.
From
Become
T2.
aware.
It's become aware.
Well, we saw The Last Stand, man. We saw that last week.
That was the worst fucking movie
I kind of felt bad.
ever seen.
It was terrible. It was one of those movies where you're like, okay, like 15, 20 minutes
just in case they didn't hear, The Last Stand, Schwarzenegger's like first starring role since being out of the governor role.
Mm-hmm. And I watched, like all of us kids in the 80s, I watched like every fucking Schwarzenegger movie at sleepovers.
We can go through the number of amazing
Running
films.
Man was my favorite.
Running
Man, Predator, and Commando. Because the girl with the big tits in the hotel
Predator,
room.
Total Recall, you know what I mean? Even his comedies sometimes were good. Twins was a great movie.
Yeah.
Him and Danny DeVito together. But this Last Stand was utter bullshit.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Really bad.
And look, and if Schwarzenegger's listening, no hard feelings.
Sorry, man.
Yeah.
You were good in Expendables 1.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was just one of those movies like 15, 20 minutes in where you're like, oh, this is going to be bad. And I'm going to just make fun of how I don't care who's enjoying it in the room. I'm just going to like go out of my way.
It didn't make any sense. Yeah. Bad character development. No story. Like zero to no story.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you what it was about.
I don't even know what it's about.
I couldn't even tell you anything about it. But yeah.
He makes a last stand. I know that. But our buddy John, he had the funniest line of the night. Because we were all talking about, let's get a movie. And we know he's been wanting to see this movie. He was really hyped about it. Mm-hmm. And he said at one point...
One of his asshole friends told him that it was good.
And he says to me, I heard it was really good. And I turned to him and I said, no one you talked to said this was going to be really good.
Except
Nobody.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
But yeah, it wasn't very good, Kevin, no. And then I saw another really shitty movie.
What was that?
I saw A Good Day to Die Hard.
Oh.
The fifth... It was on
John McClane.
It was on the DirecTV, $6, and I bought it. I had the day off.
Not so much.
Got all excited. Was ready to watch a new Die Hard movie. I was absolutely just...
It's another one of those movies that you watched at sleepovers when you were a kid, and it was like, wow, this shit is badass. But is it rated? Was it R or PG-13? Because that makes a big difference.
I think it was rated PG-13. It might have been R, but it might have been R. I don't want to.
You slim it down to get the kids to buy your tickets.
But right away, McClane. I don't care who's listening. I'm doing a.
We did a spoiler alert last week.
We're doing a spoiler tonight.
Okay, fuck it.
He gets told his son is in Russia. Okay. So in the credits in the beginning, he's already now no longer a New York cop, no longer where he should be or in LA. He's not John McClane of the police department. He's now just John McClane on vacation like Liam Neeson going to Russia. And the bad guys have no bearing. You don't care about these bad guys. You don't know why we're caring about these bad guys. They're just Slavic Russian bad guys. It means nothing to anyone. The son that we've never known about, he's now the main character. It was really bad.
So they were like Russian terrorists?
Basically, in Russia.
Okay.
And the worst part is, the only diehard references they made was they just kept saying McClane.
There aren't any Islamic terrorists in movies.
Not anymore. 9/11 ruined that.
They're always like, but wouldn't that be a little more realistic? Like, Zero Dark 30.
Don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah, right.
Remember Executive Decision when the Islamic they take he dies real quick.
That's the only thing I know about that movie.
The Islamics, they take over
an airplane.
An airplane. Can't make that movie anymore. You can't make Executive Decision 2.
No.
Never again.
Yeah,
at least not. Maybe
always like Russian or like how many Russian terrorists are fucking blowing up bombs at a marathon.
And they redid that Red Dawn movie, the Patrick Swayze movie. Mm-hmm. They redid that, and they made them Koreans.
Well, that's at least a possibility.
But it would have been more believable if it was like terrorist, When I say terrorist, I think of Bin Laden.
I've just been pissed off at my TV the last like 2 hours actually, because
tonight
I had a good day. Woke up, went to work, and came home and. I've been doing the Insanity, which has been doing nothing, by the way. This Insanity workout.
We've been through it. Insanity's only going to work if you do what it says. Are you eating like shit?
No, I'm not eating like shit.
Are you drinking?
Yeah.
You're having a beer right now.
I am.
And one of the most unhealthiest beers, though, right? In the world of beers, the Guinness is like,
Guinness is actually one of the best beers.
Oh.
Yeah, it's got antioxidants, and it's only like 140 calories.
I am sorry.
It's like drinking a Coke, but it's Guinness.
But, are you eating healthier?
Yeah, I am. I haven't had any like delicious fried food, fast food in a while. Been, So
it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing?
No, I think I'm just a bitch. Because I'm a month in, and then like the second month, it's like ridiculous.
Are you keeping up with it?
Yeah, I've done it every single day.
Right.
So I got home from work today, and I'm kind of bullshit. I'm on YouTube. I'm watching Nirvana Unplugged on YouTube, and I'm like...
No bathtubs are running, right?
No. I was in good shape.
So the bathtub's not on. We're just hanging out.
And I'm procrastinating on doing this for like an hour or so.
Right.
And so I turn it in, and the workout's usually 40 minutes. And it's got a timer on the bottom. So I turn this one on for the first time, and it's 60 minutes. And already...
That was it.
Already,
I'm so pissed.
I'm cursing at the Sean T. I'm like, he's like the dude.
So, okay.
I'm like, you motherfucker, like, you're lying to me. This isn't easy. He's like, use your back. And I'm like, fuck you, my back hurts. And I'm yelling at my TV.
You're literally yelling at the TV at this point.
And I'm
such an
pissed.
asshole. You're like, and you're only mad at yourself right now.
Yeah. Because I've been kind of not breezing through it, but I've been doing it for 30 days. And I'm like, this is part of my life now, And then I do this next series, which is like the second phase, and I can't do any of them. And I'm like,
really?
And I'm pissed, and I quit.
How long?
How long? I stopped. I did about a half hour of it. And I was just like, fuck you. And I was wearing a hat. And I threw my hat at the TV.
You were like really angry.
I was.
Wow.
Yeah. And then before that, like the other night, I was watching some stupid cooking show, and like diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Greatest show.
Triple D.
Triple D, baby.
And like they're at some nice place in this nice little small town, and this girl, kind of ugly girl, whatever. But she was like, I've eaten at 5-star diners, and this is better, or, restaurants. And this diner is better than all. I'm like, shut up, you stupid bitch. And I'm like, why am I yelling at this nice girl?
You said it out loud.
Yes.
Out loud,
yelling
by yourself in your single bedroom apartment. Yes. You're watching TV, and some poor woman on diners, drive-ins, and dives says something, and you tell her to shut the fuck up?
Yeah, I did. And then I stopped. Like right after I said, I'm like, why did I say that? I'm sure she's like, but I had this like vitriol for that like 3 seconds she was on TV. For no reason.
Wow.
I think I just have to stop everything.
But you would think that the Insanity thing, the working out, would kind of loosen you up, kind of like make you a little bit.
But I was having a good day.
Maybe you should try yoga.
Probably.
Maybe like
that's
yoga.
The next step in the flambe fucking category. I'm already juicing and
You really buy into a lot of stuff, but I think it's
I want
to
be healthy.
You want to try to better yourself. I think that's a positive thing.
Yeah, and but I still got like a fat tits and like a gut, like a half hour, like 30 days into it. I'm like, this shit isn't working. Like that Carl's Jr. commercial looks so good. But
you'd rather eat the Carl's Jr. than hang out with Stefan. What's his name?
Sean T.
Sean T.
Yeah. But it just pissed me off, so I came over here in kind of a bad mood.
Fuck you.
I don't know. So
Quit being a bitch.
I hope it doesn't affect our.
You've been quite funny today.
I don't know about that, but yeah. And then and I was at.
Here we go. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but
this is what it's for.
Right.
This is what it's for. But I haven't seen you in a week.
I'm working at UCLA, right?
Yeah.
This last 4 or 5 days.
Go ahead.
So on a break, I go down to Starbucks, and I'm sitting there in line, and it's at UCLA. So it's all these like pretty little white girls and like good-looking kids, and it's in Westwood, and some black kids in there too. I shouldn't just marginalize it.
You're just saying you noticed a couple
all good-looking kids,
right.
And they're all like, "Oh, can I get a skinny latte with a frambe of blue and
caramel soy and a half calf?"
Yeah, and I'm sitting there, and there's this little Chinese lady, and I'm guessing she's homeless or at least crazy, in some respect. But she's at the window, and as I'm walking in, I see like rows of Kleenex or like napkins on the windowsill. She's like sitting right in front of the window. And I get in line, and I hear something go, somebody go like, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I turn, and like immediately I'm like, oh, it's the crazy old Chinese lady. And she's sitting there like spitting into napkins, rolling them up, and then putting them on the windowsill.
Oh my God.
In Westwood, like at like a Starbucks right down the street, like from UCLA.
Ew.
And I didn't say anything. Like,
but you were ready to
I was disgusted, man. Just angry. I'm sure. Again, no. Actually, who does that? Like what kind of nice?
She's probably a fucking lunatic.
Yeah.
A woman of the streets.
But it kind of bothered me, and I just became kind of a little irritable the last couple.
Maybe
of days.
work's not for you.
No, I have to work.
But I'm saying, I'm not saying you don't have to.
My kids in Jordans.
And you don't have any kids that you know about yet. But what I'm saying is, you know what I mean? You do better. You seem more at peace when you've had time off and you're doing more of the things you like to do in life, like work out and, I
think it all blends into what the one real reality, which is work and friends and relationships and all that stuff, family. And it's good. Everything is good. But I just get these like short irritabilities.
I understand. I get it too. I know who I am.
But just really being like a piece of shit, saying like terrible things, to no one, just to myself about people.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, I'm 30 years old, and if I keep this up, by the time I'm 50, man, I'm gonna be like a Vietnam War vet.
And just an angry old fuck, like Grandpa Joe, who's just a mean son of a bitch who hates everything. It's not you.
I know, but I still get them.
I think you just need to get it out of you. Like you get these little spurts out of you.
Right.
Like the little Chinese lady, if you would just let her know, you're a disgusting piece of shit.
Yeah,
you might have felt better.
And talk to her like a reasonable person.
I've always said I don't think people should get away, and that could be my curse. I don't think people should get away with stupidity. Like when you do something dumb, I don't think it should just be like, oh, it was an accident. Oh, it's okay. No, you fucking are dumb.
But an entire store of about 40 people, including the employees, didn't say anything.
Inside or outside?
Inside. She's
wait a minute. This wasn't going outside?
No, she's in the Starbucks. Laying.
Oh my God! I thought this whole time she was on the outside.
No, dude, she's inside. She had a small cup of coffee and just sitting there, going.
And lining them up.
Probably by the time from the time that I went in there to went out, no bullshit. Probably 30 times.
Someone should have taken a baseball bat to her head.
Nobody did. Nobody said anything.
A manager should go up to me and say, hey, listen, Toots, it's time for you and your schnot rags
she's
to
there
go.
Right now, man. We should go down there right after we stop this and give her a good talking to.
Give her a good baseball bat to the head. Like, why do people
do that? But nobody said anything. They were just like, no, like nothing, like everything is fine. Like, nope. Like, this crazy little Chinese lady.
They let these people get away with murder.
Yeah, it's like this almost like paternalistic, like mental illness or all that. Like, I don't even want to but who wants to approach a crazy stranger in L.A.?
Yeah, you don't want something to happen. She could throw one of those schnot rags at you.
Probably would have.
Or she just spits in your face. Forget the rag. What if she just right on you?
Something told me not to do it, but I was like, look, I was disgusted.
You gotta pick your battles.
Yeah.
You gotta pick your battles.
I looked at like cute, like little 19-year-old like Marie, and I'm like, ugh. And then she's like, I know. And then I gave her like,
Want to go on a date, little lady?
Ever date a 30-year-old virgin? Nah, I'm just kidding.
He likes to rape tube socks.
What? Doesn't even know. But yeah, I don't know. That's about it. How about you?
No, I'm at this shitty job still. It's almost over. Things are fine there. I cannot wait till it's over. I have vacation time. We're going to be going to Comic-Con.
Going to Vegas?
I was thinking of a Vegas run. Me and you haven't done a Vegas run.
Yeah.
We're actually due. Me and you, since we've known each other,
Frank and Dean.
have pretty much
The
done...
worst Frank and Deans ever. But
Who would be Frank and who would be Dean?
You'd probably be Dean, I'd be Frank.
Why do you get to be Frank?
Because I'm a little bit of a crooner. You're more of like the boo-boo-boo-boo.
I could be Dean.
Yeah, Dean was great.
I'm
man.
not saying,
Dean.
and I'm not saying there is. I'm just saying I was asking. I could be Dino.
I'd be chairman of the board, old Blue Eyes.
I have blue eyes.
So do I, but I'm actually...
But we are due. We've gone to pretty much Vegas every year since we've kind of become buddies.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I love Vegas.
Do you want to go? I can go to Vegas anytime after like July 5th, between July 5th and Comic-Con.
Okay.
You want to start looking into some hotels and see what we can get?
Yeah.
Done.
I got a buddy, actually, and if he listens, which I think he might have once or twice, I'm going to call him out. Right now.
Go ahead.
I won't say his name.
But go ahead.
He's like a, contractor, like, former military, and he like high profile bodyguard for a lot of people in Vegas. And he worked on a show with me, and, we kind of befriended each other. And, yeah, so he was like, dude, anytime you're in Vegas, hit me up. I could set you up at the Wynn, the Encore, and I'm like, oh. Like,
Well, then call this guy up.
I tried last time. I didn't get a lot of help.
But last time you hooked it up,
But he's a good guy.
Didn't we stay at the Mandalay Bay last time?
Yeah, the hotel, man.
Yeah. Only reason we screwed up is because I had to change a date real quick and we lost the room. But you hooked us up fat when we went. You've done pretty good. Okay, for right now, you can be frank because the last couple of times you really came.
Craps. You gotta go to the shitholes though, man. I mean, I've never played like Imperial Palace or Circus Circus.
I won't go into Imperial Palace, and I'll tell you why.
Why's that?
You've never been in there?
No, I don't. The valet area kind of scares me.
Okay, I went into the Imperial Palace. We were working a show, and a buddy happened to be in Vegas too, getting married, and invited us over. He was all hanging out at the hotel, and he's like, "Come over." We're hanging out. So we had gotten off of work. We went over to the Imperial Palace. We walked to the casino. This place looked like a shelter for homeless people, but with gambling.
With gambling and smoke.
And forget the casino now. We go up to the hotel. I shit you not, the most disgusting place you've ever seen.
Really?
Stains on the walls, on the carpets, doors open, hotel doors just like open. It looks like a Motel 6 in there. People have white styrofoam coolers out in front of their rooms. Doors open ever. People just screaming. Cigarette butts like in the hallway.
Yeah, it's kind of foul.
I went in there one time and vowed never to ever go in the Imperial Palace again.
I went to the Claridge, which is in Atlantic City.
Okay.
One of my first times, I right after I turned 21, a bunch of friends and we walked in at like a 2:30 on one of our nights, 2:30 in the morning, just fucking throwing money around and stuff. And someone had taken a shit, like literally a shit in the middle of like the lobby where you walk in. And there was a guy there cleaning it. And I'll never forget, the Claridge Atlantic City. They might have like improved it, but it just sticks in my mind.
We can try. Like, we're staying in a nice hotel. Me and you are not. We don't stay at shit hotels. I'm sorry. I'm a diva. I'm not going to be staying at the Imperial Palace or like.
No. But I've done my best work. Like, I made like
that's what I'm saying.
$1,300 at O'Shea's playing like $5 craps.
I'm okay with that. We should go to Old Vegas and play like at some of the old hotels. I'm down for that. We can go off the beaten path. Okay. But we're not staying in a shit hotel.
No. I mean, the whole idea of hotels kind of skews me out to begin with. I know
that's why we have to stay in a
hotel. I know they're
hotel.
Cleaned and all that, and I can't really remember of any like shithole hotels I've stayed in. But
Imperial Palace.
You think just people come in, they treat it like piss in the sink, shit.
Cummies in the bed.
Yeah, exactly. Like the blacklight stuff.
Hookers.
Yeah, all that.
We should bring a blacklight to the next time we go. And if it's fucked up, we should be like, this is disgusting. We want.
Yeah.
We want the tops.
Penthouse.
We want the house.
Penthouse.
We want the clubhouse.
Penthouse of Imperial Palace. What do you think that's like?
I don't think there's a penthouse at the Imperial Palace.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be like
it's
at least
probably
one
like
room.
A shitty suite.
Like I heard Circus Circus. Like if you read any of the ratings for it, it's like ones on everything. The food's terrible. The service is terrible. Like, all of it. And
People stay there.
Sure. Yeah, look, if you want to go, like, but Vegas is just a pot to piss your money away in. But you're drinking, you're having fun, you're doing all that at the same time.
There's nothing more fun. I don't care. I love Vegas. Vegas is Disneyland for adults.
And I went to one of the Indian casinos in down at Coachella, and I played California Craps. I mentioned it in another show.
Yeah, oh, God.
So I'm just...
We need the real
dice.
thing. I love the dice. That's all I play. Dice, poker. We've talked about it a little bit. We're dice men. Nothing better than throwing dice.
I had to retire from blackjack just because I would cool a fucking
you've said that before.
Blackjack.
You've talked about your cooler issues you think you have. It's all about positivity and like mental like game, and you have to go in there with like a good attitude. Gambling's all about what you throw at it because it's gambling.
I mean, craps is just so much going on, and like when you get paid, it's great. When a point is hit, it's great. Like all that. So yeah, I'm down to go. So we should look into that.
Yeah, you have 2 homework assignments: getting us on iTunes in the next couple weeks, and Vegas.
Okay.
I'm available after July 5th.
All right.
And that'll be cheaper because it's after the holiday.
Talk to my guy. Talk to my people. And
Make it happen.
Set it up.
Do some things. Do some research. What else we got going on?
I don't know. What's in the news? You know how
you have to give me the news. I've told you I've been working. I worked this weekend. I have no time off.
Well,
and the time I do have off, I watch shitty movies like A Good Day to Die Hard. So I don't have time for news. Tell me what's going on.
Okay. Well, you knew all about the Apple thing.
I happened to.
You were very detailed on that. Like
someone told me today that Apple made an announcement, so I took my lunch break and I made sure I had enough time to go through my computer and look at the Apple website and look at a couple of the keynotes things and stuff. So I did know about that, but I didn't get it from a website, like CNN or anything.
Well, there was the shooting down in Santa Monica.
That I know about.
That was fucking nuts. I was working there. I mean, like not to attach myself to the story to make me for any reason,
right?
But I was working on Pico and 22nd, which is like
very close to what was going on,
which is 2 blocks. And I had a meeting with this guy at 12 o'clock, and that was right when it was popping off. Like I think 3 or 4 blocks away. And we were in there for about an hour or so. And as I was leaving, there was a guy walking his dog. And he was like, "Oh, like, are you leaving?" And I'm like, "Yeah, And he's like, don't go down that way. Like, make a right and 2 more rights." I guess that you get being in the right same place. Like, make a right and 2 lefts.
Right.
He's like, because that's all blocked off. And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, like Obama's in town, right?" And he was like, "No, there's a shooting." I was like, "Oh, okay." Just kind of like, "Oh, okay." But it turns out to be
this grand scale shooting,
like a mass fucking
fires,
shooting.
And all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Do they have the shooter?
They killed him.
They got him.
They had to. I mean, it's just a lunatic. It's just another.
I remember when Nicole was watching on TV, they said they weren't sure where the shooter was or which one he was. So I don't remember. I never heard the end of it.
Yeah. Apparently he is one of these mental health people who have guns, which is the biggest problem in itself. Like guns don't kill people.
Stupid people with guns kill people.
No, mentally deranged. I mean, who the fuck does that? I talk about calling dumb bitches on the Food Network dumb bitches, but that's as far as I go. Like these people have obviously just ridiculously terrible problems, and they take it out on innocent people. So I guess he killed his father and his brother. Like this kid was 24, by the way.
Jesus.
24 years old. Killed his father and his brother and set the house on fire, and then did like a Grand Theft Auto 5-star thing for about 20 minutes, just wreaking havoc in Santa Monica.
See, that's the problem. Is that you say it like that, and that's the problem. This Grand Theft Auto type thing. Like I don't want to blame the video games because I love the video games.
You can't blame the video. You can't blame the gun, man. You got to blame the person. I mean. Without getting into the whole political thing about gun control and stuff like that, it's like the last 5 or 6 incidents, which is terrible that there have been that many compared to other places in the world. It
happens all the time.
Yeah, you had the school shooting at Sandy Hook. You had the Batman premiere last summer. All and everything else. There's been another one since, hasn't there? After the
Boston thing.
Yeah, that. And now this asshole who's just...
And there's been another shoot. There was another little shoot.
And they're all fucking mentally deranged.
That's the real problem.
Dude, what do you institutionalize them? I mean, the last thing you do is give them any kind of access to guns. And the way that you get an AR-15 like he had, you can't get it. It's illegal. You know.
So how did he get it?
I don't know.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Clear your beer. Have a little sippy sip.
I don't know how he got it.
That's the problem. Is that these people, these mentally challenged people, they're not like 100% mentally challenged because they have the self-awareness to get on a computer and figure things out, and they know how to get. They have the resources mentally to get these guns.
I guess. Or you go to a gun show. I mean, like, that's a problem. Like, you know, should they be available? Absolutely. Like, just to shoot whatever the fuck you want to shoot. It's a sport. You know, it's like swinging a golf club.
Yeah, but do you believe that? What about the people that say I need to have my gun for protection?
They look. That's why you should have it. You know, I mean, not to do a mass shooting, obviously, but you know, I mean, should you have a pistol to protect yourself and your family? Absolutely. If your state allows it and you go through the, you know, the
proper channels.
The proper. Wow, that was pretty good. The proper channels. Yeah, you know, you get it legally, you obtain it legally, you do a background check, a psychiatric evaluation.
But all that, you know, it's like there's so many.
You can't do a psych evaluation on every gun owner,
right?
But I don't know.
What about the kill?
That's the closest that I've ever been to any kind of danger, and I had no idea. I fucking got in my car, took a left and two rights, or right and two lefts, and yeah, and just kind of went along my day. I started basically my day at work.
It's crazy,
and this dude was
blocks away.
So. He leaves his house. House is on fire, and he carjacks a woman. Starts shooting at a city bus, blows out windows. I think injured like 3 people, and then killed. I think he killed a woman actually before he carjacked them. Then went to Santa Monica College, shot into like a Ford Escape or Ford Explorer, killed a father and his daughter. You know, she was a student, and he worked for like the grounds there. I mean, it's disgusting.
Sick fucks.
Yeah. I mean, and it could have been anybody, which is the scary thing of it. And, you know, again, without getting into the whole gun control thing,
something's got to be done.
Yeah. Because, you know, that's really...
Chris Rock said, we don't need gun control, we need bullet control.
Bullet control, for sure. The guy had like 1,300 rounds.
That's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of... well, for starters, that's a lot of money. Because I mean, bullets.
How did this guy? We have no idea.
I don't know. I mean, it's like all these senseless shit. Like you don't want to know anything about. You should be, you know, remembering the victims and not fucking, you know, researching the assailant.
Right.
But yeah, that was kind of maybe that's what started my 2 or 3 day irritability.
You're just putting you in. It's just.
And then you just notice shit. People not using blinkers, driving like assholes,
blowing bloogies into Kleenex at Starbucks.
Thank God that's all she was doing, because she had a gun. Probably wouldn't be spitting into a napkin.
Dude, if some old lady pulls out a gun...
I am punching the shit out of her.
I am knocking her down as...
Fuck. I am doing my insanity right hook to her fucking jaw, and I would get the biggest cheer. I'd be high-fiving everybody. You'd be twirling the gun around my finger.
You'd be Kevin the Hero.
That's right. Oh, besides that... and then I guess the national security thing, where they're monitoring everybody's phone calls.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing.
That's the other big news story.
Everyone has a cell phone these days. If people are ignorant enough to think that we are talking on a phone with no wires, and we can call all across the country at any time without any wire connected to my phone, if people are dumb enough to think that call somehow can't be heard by the satellite and the millions of people that can tap in, hack things, do things, you're an ignorant person.
Yeah, but I mean, that doesn't make it right.
Didn't make it right that Hitler killed 6 million Jews. He still did it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's our government doing that to us.
They're not. Believe me. Are you doing anything wrong?
No.
Do you have anything to hide?
I don't know.
Do you have anything to hide?
But that's the whole point. If I do have something to hide, then why should they be trying to expose it? I mean, I don't
believe the government should. I agree. I agree with you.
If I'm texting you C4 and locations and Allahu Akbar, like, then okay, you could. And I get it. Like, they're scanning, and I like that. But at the same time, it's like, and I'm not all like adamant, like, oh, it's an invasion of my civil liberties, because it is, you know. But if it's for my own protection, I don't really know, you know.
Obviously, I agree. There has to be a lot.
If it works and it picks somebody up and prevents something, you know, another killing to happen, another terrorist attack, sure. But nobody should be scanning my information. I have a clean record. I don't have any I'm from fucking Briarcliff, New York.
I agree. I don't
pay
think
my bills.
I don't think the government should just be tapping into random.
That's my biggest problem with it.
Well, I think we've come into a new age. Like, people weren't expecting all this to be, 20 years ago, no one expected we'd all be on digital devices and be pushing all information through, like.
But that's the ironic thing about about this whole story leaking, is that we all live in, like, we all say we, like, shelter our privacy and stuff, but everything we
on
do,
the internet now.
We intentionally, like, unprivatize it. It's like, I want you to know where I am on Facebook. I want you to know what I'm thinking on Twitter. Everybody, and TMZ is like the most popular website.
You post pictures on Instagram or wherever you're at all times. It's the digital age, man.
Look, maybe we deserve it, for being so, full of shit.
I'm on LinkedIn. I have no idea how I got on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I signed up for it, and then I updated.
I don't even remember signing up for it.
Yeah, it's one of those passwords that is
every day 5 new people like me on LinkedIn or want to join my LinkedIn, and I sign in. I know the password because now, after saying I forgot my password, they give me a password. I have a password.
My privacy's been breached from LinkedIn, and I
didn't even. I don't even know how I got on LinkedIn. Yeah.
But there's a lot of activity. Like, it's funny because I'll get emails and I'm like, stop it. It's like, I don't even want to think about LinkedIn right now. And it's like, oh, well, this person just updated their profile and added work history. And I'm like, oh, fuck them. Like, should I be doing that? It makes me very anxious.
Go do insanity workout.
No, fuck them.
Are you done?
I think so.
So you think...
I almost put my fist through my television, Jeremy. I don't understand. I don't think you understand. Like,
I understand. I've seen you get to that point.
Because just doing things that my body wouldn't allow me to do. Doing, like, jumping up and doing, like, a suicide and jumping to the side, like the squat thrusts and stuff.
Yeah.
But doing that to, like, the left and the right. And my body didn't allow that. My shoulder, like, popped out. And I'm like, oh, you motherfucker. Yeah, and so that's...
so you think it's over?
No, I got to do it tomorrow.
You're going to try again?
Yeah. With an open mindset.
All right.
Because yesterday was my day off, too.
Now, I have a question. Instead of going to the next level, why not just do the ones that you're, like, do the first disc and keep doing that for a while since you like it, and it's a hard work. Is it a hard workout? Do you sweat? And, like,
oh, yeah.
So why don't you do that?
I can do it.
What? Can you do it, like, on fast forward?
No.
And do it, like, a little faster?
No, I usually slow down. I cry. I lay down. And I have to, like, I've washed my floor about 20 times.
Why don't you go buy a fucking mat? That's a workout mat. Like a big square workout mat.
No, you kind of got to be moving a little too much.
You can buy mats that, like, stick to the ground.
I don't want to do that. I have a couch. Fucking water filter.
So you're sweating all over the wood floor constantly?
Yeah, that's why I have to.
That's why you have an aqueduct in your room. From the bathtub and you're sweating, You've really done a number on these.
Nothing has changed. I still have tits, and I got love handles, and a beer gut.
Well, you're drinking a beer, so I guess you would have...
It's empty, actually. I was going to ask, do you have a lighter?
You have another beer?
Sure, I have one.
You have another beer?
Yeah.
Why do you have beer in your backpack?
Because I'm a hobo.
You brought beer in your little backpack?
I did.
I have a lighter somewhere. Hang on. We can stop the show for this while I get you a lighter. Here's a lighter.
Cold? Oh, thank you.
So, now that you have a lighter... Oh, there it is. Now Kevin has another beer.
Quadricep.
And don't leave your beer bottle caps under my table. I went to do a little cleaning the other day, and I noticed there was a couple beer caps.
Yeah.
I have
a habit of doing that.
My geek cave is not for your beer bottle caps.
I have a habit of just popping the cap.
And letting it go wherever.
Just having to sit on the floor a couple days, and then just sweep my floor. So I'm sweeping up bottle caps.
Even at your own house, you just leave the bottle caps on the floor?
Yeah.
You really have no class.
I'll pick them up if I'm
eventually
walking next to the fridge. If I'm walking past the fridge and I don't want to look at it anymore, I'll pick it up and throw it away. For the most part, yeah. I cleaned up like 3 or 4.
You're a man's man.
Bachelor. That's it.
So what's planned for the rest of the week? You have the rest of the work or something?
No, I don't actually. So I'm available. Anybody hiring at your
Need
local
a cute
warehouse?
little short chubby Irish kid? Call Kevin.
That's right.
So nothing on the books? Nothing on the horizon?
As of right now, no. Independent contractor, unemployment.
Now you get back to relaxing.
Yeah, but no, but actually, this gig I just worked, I'm hoping that they got a series coming up, and I think I did pretty well. And
you're hoping to get another
call.
call.
Talked to the guy today. Yeah, maybe get like and it's like a music related thing on Showtime.
Were you PAing or coordinating on this one?
I was PAing on this, but I was coordinating. They didn't have a coordinator, and I kind of just assumed the role because.
You're like, hey, next time, why don't you call me the coordinator?
Yeah, the dude's from New York.
Throw me a few shekels.
Yeah, that's right. And he was like, he gave me like basically 2 extra days. 2 extra days. I didn't do shit today.
Wonderful. Yeah. So he kind of gave you a coordinator a little bump.
Yeah, he did.
Very
what
cool.
I think. And he's got a series coming up next at some point. Music. I think he was in the music industry.
Hey, if you need something, let me know.
Yeah. Well,
I'll work for you.
All the help you've given me.
I haven't given you any help.
You haven't.
Fuck you, I have. It's not nice.
Right. And then, and I know you're from Chicago.
Yes, I am. I know you're from Chicago. We haven't been friends for 4 years. Yes, Kevin, you have the worst segues.
Speaking of Chicago,
you have the worst segues. Go ahead.
I watched. Did you see Vice?
I'm a couple episodes behind on Vice. I'm about to watch the fighting episode you told me about.
Okay, yeah.
The last episode I watched was about getting off heroin in the weird countries, and like the smoking.
Oh yeah, the kids smoking butts.
The
kids
kids smoking
Philippines.
In the Philippines, yeah.
It's
great show.
Maybe, yeah. But this last week's episode,
Vice is a news program. They had a website, and now Vice has an HBO news program.
Yeah, it's really good.
Half-hour news program. It's on Fridays.
It shows stuff that and I think 60 Minutes is great. Like I watch.
But this is a little more hardcore.
Yeah, this is more for like our kind of generation.
Like it's hardcore news, and you get like in depth.
And it's stories that you don't really
know
hear
about. Yeah.
But this week's episode, they showed all the gang violence in Chicago.
Oh, really?
And it was called Chirac, because apparently that's what people are calling it now. Because there's so much like gang violence and like gun murders.
I'll have to check it out. I'm excited. Yeah.
But when you were growing up, did you
No, I mean, let's be honest. I grew up in a suburb. I was born in Chicago, in the city.
But you knew that there was like an area.
Oh, of course you know about the South Side of Chicago. You knew about Cabrini Greens. You knew about the Robert Taylor homes. When I used to take the L train to the city in Chicago to go down the White Sox, you were told, like when you were like 15, 16, you started taking the train, or at least when I did, never take the train past 35th. Get off the train at 35th, no matter what you have to do. Don't ever stand the train past 35th, especially at night.
Yeah, that's like north of.
And my dad was always very clear, not joking around. Like it's not something you joke with.
Yeah, I mean the South Bronx is basically that part of New York. It's like right right around Yankee Stadium.
I went to college in a school called Western Illinois that was in the boondocks of Illinois, Farmtown. And I had a very good buddy named Marcus who went to college with us, and he was from the South Side. Like he was hardcore from the South Side of Chicago, like born and raised. He was from there. His hometown, black kid, raised in South Side Chicago, and we went to his wedding. We got invited to his wedding in the South Side of Chicago in college. So me and my buddy James, who grew up on a farm, like I've been to his home, a soybean farm, like a full-on farm. Me and James went to the wedding together. Now I preference this by saying, I'm not making any of this up. I'm not being stereotypical. I'm just being honest.
Come on, be stereotypical.
I went to Marcus's wedding. We were the only white people at this wedding.
And Jews.
Well, I'm a Jew. James on a farm was not a Jew.
Jews don't grow up on farms.
He didn't like me any more than the black people did. Yeah. So we go to this wedding, only black people there. They literally were dancing down the aisle like rap music. It was that kind of thing. And we go downstairs at this wedding for the reception, and all these African American people are just staring at the two of us like, what are these two white people doing here? Big bucket of fried chicken.
Yeah.
Big thing of red Kool-Aid. Like it was to the bar. Me and Marcus. I'm not making any of this up.
That's awesome.
Me and Marcus even joked about it, like how crazy stereotypical it was.
But did you have a good time?
I actually had a good time. It was a lot of fun. And they opened up to us.
Yeah.
But the other point I was getting to is after the wedding, the next day we all went to a couple days later, weeks later, we went to a White Sox game together, all together to celebrate the wedding. And after, Marcus asked us to give him a ride home. So we said, okay, we give Marcus a ride to his car. He said, well, come hang out with me for a little bit. So we go to Marcus's car. Marcus gives us a ride. He pulls into the Robert Taylor homes, which are like
projects.
These are like the projects. And he jokingly looks at me and goes, Tommy, that's what they used to call me in college. Tommy, he's like, get out of the car and go to the front. And I was like, all right. I get out of the car. He's like, get the fuck back in the car. I was only joking. Are you stupid? You're going to get us in trouble. So we pull away. We drive down the street a little bit. And he sees his mom just walking down the street. Pulls over to his mom, looks at us and goes, what are these white people doing in your car? What are you doing? She assumed he was up to no good because white people were in the car with him. It was really crazy. But that was my experience with the South Side of Chicago.
Wow, because I mean, it's like it has like 5 times the amount of like murders and stuff, and there's like almost like 100 gangs.
I'm from the fucking streets, yo. Chi-Town Moop. Fuck you.
Wow, that almost sounded
35th and Hermitage, motherfucker.
You have no idea.
No idea. No idea.
But yeah, that was on there, and I was like, oh, I wonder if Jeremy's aware of.
I'm gonna check it out.
And
well, Kevin,
and the Blackhawks are in the Final Four.
I have been watching
Stanley Cups.
Stanley Cup. It starts tomorrow.
Okay, I was wondering.
No, it starts Wednesday. Wednesday it starts. Gotcha. I watched the games. I was excited. I'm not a huge hockey fan, but I mean, anytime your team is doing really good, you want to tune in a little bit.
So if the Cubs made the World Series,
I would watch, but I wouldn't care.
Would you root against them?
No. I would, and I wouldn't be rooting for them though. I would just be watching.
How do you not root for the Cubs? I mean, like
if the White Sox weren't in it and the Cubs were in it, I would probably be rooting for the Cubs. I would. Like I said, I'm not anti-Cub. I'm just a White Sox fan.
Like that was right before Prohibition. Before they lost.
They haven't won a world. They haven't won a World Series since before alcohol was legalized.
Right. Yeah, I wasn't a very good hockey player. I tried to do it when I was a kid.
I was not so bad. I was a rollerblader hockey player. What would you call that?
My brother Brian was very good on skates, very athletic, and I wasn't. And I remember we went to West Point, which is like the
military academy.
Yeah, and they had a hockey camp there. My mom just tried something to keep me up because I was kind of fat. If you remember from earlier episodes, around when I was like 4 years, like 4th grade, I was a fat piece of shit. So she was like worried and tried to get me to get into any kind of athletics.
Now she's just worried that you're a piece of shit.
No, actually, she's under a guise of I'm like, look, rational and hardworking.
So she had no idea who you really are.
No idea. I got to play it straight.
Cool.
But I remember going to West Point hockey camp and my brother's doing like figure eights and shit like that. And I couldn't keep on my skates. So one of the guys from one of the instructors had to put me on a chair and skate me around. Oh God, you poor
bastard.
Yeah, so hockey and I have
It didn't work out. Did you rollerblade like in the 90s when it was cool to rollerblade? A little bit,
yeah.
But you weren't good?
I couldn't skate on ice, man.
I was good. I could rollerblade.
My ankles.
I was good on ice.
Bowed out.
I went ice skating a handful of times. Yeah, I played hockey a little bit. Kevin, I think it's a good time to
wrap it up.
Your sad fucking hockey story is making me depressed.
I know, right?
I've had enough depressing stories for the evening.
It's true.
Kev, thanks for a wonderful night.
Bring a lot of light tonight.
Pack up your beer and get the fuck out of my house, all right?
All right, Jeremy.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. www.badtakeout.com and check us out on Facebook. Enjoy. We'll see you next week.
Later.